Hello, hello. I'm Courtney Scott Wright, and welcome to the Geeky Critique. So today, I'm going to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the film that just came out, and it is a prequel to the series Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, which you can find on Crunchyroll as well as on HBO Max. Now, if you're familiar with me from the Binge-Worthy podcast on the Geekish Network, then you know that we reviewed Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, and we were absolutely floored by this series. All of us gave it a full binge out. We just loved it. Now, I'm a huge anime fan, and Attack on Titan's one of my favorites, but Jujutsu Kaisen shot all the way up to the tippy top for me because I had no idea what I was in store for. And I'm a huge fan thus far, so when I found out that there was going to be a movie version, I ran to the theater as soon as it came out. Now, I watched the movie, and as I watched it, I was like, wow, I'm expecting all of my favorites, like Itadori. I was expecting to see, Goju, obviously, our super sexy teacher, which, yes, I'm in love with the cartoon. It's fine. Y'all already knew that if you saw me on the Binge-Worthy podcast. It's the eyes. Come on, man. You understand. You understand. I'm not going to go into it, but don't judge me. So anyways, I didn't get any of that because it was a prequel and Itadori obviously wasn't a first year yet. So we're following the first years that are talked about in season 1. And if you remember season 1, episode 5, when Megumi Fushiguro, I think that's his name, he was introducing Nobara to the second year upperclassmen, and Panda mentioned Yuta. Now, that completely went over my head until I came back and did a deep dive after having watched the movie. Now, Yuta is talked about in season 1, and they say that he is overseas. Now, as I get into talking about this, we will discuss why Yuta was overseas, or my guesstimation as to why. But right now, I just want you to know, I'm going to spoil the mess out of this movie. I'm doing a deep dive right now. Warning, danger Will Robinson. Do not proceed if you have not watched Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the film. That was your final warning. Okay, here we go. Now, so the movie starts and it introduces you to Yuta, who is a young student, not even actually at Jujutsu Tech yet. So he has just been kind of arrested, I guess. He's in the same place that we saw Itadori when he is sequestered and put in this dungeon area because they don't know about the curse that is controlling him. So they think he is a threat to society and he is about to be executed. But of course, our teacher comes in and saves the day. He's like, no, there is something about Yuta. I know there's a good person in him, and I know that we can get him to control his cursed spirit, right? Of course, yes. So he brings Yuta to Jujutsu Tech, where he introduces him to the first years, who we know as second year upperclassmen for season 1. But right now, we're introduced to Mai Zenin, who is our cursed tool wielder. Then we have Inumaki, and please forgive me if I do not pronounce their names right, but I do love them. It's just my excitement is getting the best of me. And then, of course, we have Panda. Now, Inumaki, I freaking love that kid. The fact that he only talks in fish, rice ball ingredients is absolutely ridiculous. But he's so amazing. He's such an amazing warrior that to have cursed speech and be as powerful as he is in the first year, that's when we discover his background and that he is a special grade. Now, this is something that I am a huge fan of. Backstory. Now, when we meet them in season 1, they are the upperclassmen. Seem like they got everything together and that they know exactly what they're doing. But right here, even though, yes, they do, they're still pretty amazing. This is how we figure out how this team all came together. And they had an amazing story, just like Itadori and Nobara and Megumi, that we got to know in season 1. Now, so we're following Yuta, and Yuta, as a little boy, he had a best friend, Rika, who was killed right in front of him. Now, Rika, right before the accident, right before she was hit by a car in front of him, she gave him a ring, and she had a ring also. And that meant that they were going to be best friends forever, together forever. When they grew up, they were going to get married. Now, honestly, Yuta, that should have been your first sign. She was a little cuckoo, but he didn't know. He's 6. Why would you expect that, right? No. It turns out that Yuta, as Rika was dying, she attached herself to his spirit. So whenever Yuta was in danger, Rika-chan would come out and protect him and kill whoever was anywhere near him. Now, Yuta, obviously, as anybody would, thought he was going crazy. Like, there's this crazy demon spirit that's murdering people, just coming around, like coming out, arms out of the wall, murking people if you're in danger. Now, anybody would have been freaked out. Poor kid. Like, you don't know what to do. You don't know what's happening to you. You just know that your best friend forever is trying to kill people. So Yuta does not think that he has any other purpose until Goju comes in and tells him, no, man, I'm going to take you to school. I'm going to teach you how to use this. I'm going to teach you how you and Rika-chan, I'm so excited. I gotta calm down. You and Rika-chan can go out there and use this energy and protect people. And that's exactly what he learns to do. Now, Goju teaches him, like, we have to find a way to actually release Rika-chan's spirit. And until then, you cannot release her completely. You cannot unleash her onto the world because she's too powerful. Which, of course, attracts Suguru, I think that's his name, who is the competing teacher from a nearby school, who used to be at school with Goju and was his best friend. They went to school together, best mates, and it was hard for them to battle one another. Honestly, it kind of reminded me a little bit of, like, what's his name? Dumbledore and Grindelwald. A little bit. But anyways, I digress. Yes, so Suguru was obviously attracted to Rika-chan because that's what he does. Like, that's his ability. He collects cursed spirits from people under the guise of, like, I'm helping you. I'm going to take this spirit out of you, but don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? It's gone, right? Wrong. He has collected it and added it to his collection. He's carrying something like 4,000 spirits that he is just like beasting around town any way he wants to. And he really wants Rika-chan. Right? Of course. So Yuta has found a way to utilize Rika's energy within a katana blade. Now he is going around, like, just doing what he can on certain missions. He goes out on a mission with Mai, and they have to save these 2 children at a school. And that's the first time Rika-chan is released. And Goju, the council is like, nah, man, you can't have her just out rolling the streets like that. We need you to keep him contained, keep her contained. Even though, yes, it worked out and they were able to save the 2 children that had been eaten by this, like, crazy demon. But at the same time, yo, man, she can't just be out in the streets like that, okay? So Yuta learns to control it and contains her spirit within this katana blade. Then he goes out again with Inumaki, who he's just supposed to be there, like, watching, you know what I mean? Just taking notes, like, okay, this is what he did. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm not supposed to do. FYI, it was supposed to be easy. They go into a mall, kill a couple of demon spirits, clear it out so they can build this, like, new mall, and everybody's good, right? Wrong, of course, because Suguru has sent more demons there in order to kill Yuta so that he can get Rika-chan. But of course it doesn't work out that way. Inumaki, who uses his cursed speech to clear out what he thinks is all of the cursed spirits, except there's one big bad that's left, and he does not have his throat spray. It, like, fell off somewhere, of course, which leaves it to our watcher, Yuta, who wasn't supposed to do anything, but here he is, and he has to help save the day, which of course he does. So now Suguru is like, yo, this cat, he's doing the most, okay? So I thought that I was gonna go in there bam, bam, wham, get everything that I wanted, and he was gonna be no problem. So now, of course, he has to regroup. So he goes and he sets all of his students that he has been working with, sends them out with all these other like cursed energy spirits, release them out into the world in order to get Jujutsu Tech and all of their like alumni wielders, like everybody, Goju, like everybody is away from the school in order to clear out the streets and protect humanity, right? Which leaves Yuta and Mai, because Mai being a cursed tool wielder, like as we already know, she doesn't actually see any cursed energy because that's her curse from the Zenin family. All the other Zenin family members, everybody is able to wield cursed energy except for Mai. And she is just, you know, still got her problems with her family, but she's still a badass. She's still one of my favorite characters. And she is the only one there left with Yuta. So now Suguru, who has got, you know, sleight of hand, got everybody looking this way while I'm going to the school and collect Rika-chan, which is what that's what I came here for. He dispatches with Mai, and it's just down to him and Yuta. But Goju figures it out, and he sends Inumaki and Panda back in order to help protect Yuta. Ugh. All the things. Like Suguru, he just takes out Mai, he takes out Inumaki, he takes out Panda, and Yuta is like furious because this is his family. These are the friends that he's built since he's been at school, something that he hasn't had. He's only had Rika-chan because that's the only thing that, you know, she would only allow herself to be closest to him. So here we are. It's finally down to him and Suguru, and he figures out that he has to give himself to Rika-chan in order for her to give him access to all of her power. And he's willing to do that in order to save his friends. But ultimately, what he realizes, what he kind of suspected earlier in the film, is that Rika didn't curse him. He actually cursed her because he has it within his lineage that he is a cursed wielder of spirits. And when he saw her die, he just didn't want her to die. He didn't want her to leave him. And that energy drew her spirit to him. And that's why she was with him. So everything he thought he knew, that she was cursing him, that it was her who was doing all these things, when secretly it was him because he just didn't want to be alone. It was everything. Not only did I get like the backstory of these characters, this character who was briefly mentioned in season 1, but you know nothing about other than he's overseas. And then we get to finally see Yuta have this realization moment once he does battle Suguru and win. Then we get to see him free Rika-chan. Rika-chan is still this cute little girl, even though she has been presenting as this like massive demon. She's really, at the end of the day, just a little girl who was able to be with her friend. And she was so grateful to him for freeing her, but also allowing her 6 more years to stay with him. Now, I'm such just like a sappy person, and friendships are everything to me, you know. It really warmed my heart to see them able to make this peace, that she really wasn't this dark demonic energy, that she was just someone trying to protect her friend, even though she was doing it a little cuckoo, a little crazy. But I mean, she was 6 when she died, so I can't really blame her. So there you have it. I need you to go and see this movie. Let's give it all the support we can because it deserves it, and I cannot wait for season 2. And all I have to say is I need Yuta to be back from overseas. Now, stay to the end. Stay to the end. I'm going to say that again, because that's when we see Yuta is overseas with another wielder, a cursed energy wielder, who battles Goju, and they just happen, for whatever reason, Yuta's over there working with this person, and we don't know why. I'm assuming Goju sent him there because at the end, Goju shows up in his little glasses. because I love him. But anyways, I absolutely highly recommend this movie, and I hope you love it. Just like I hope you've enjoyed this review. All right, till next time.